Well, thank you all very much for taking part in this discussion about the effects of the proposed budgets on our transit. And my purpose is primarily to listen and to learn, so I'm going to be very brief and then ask all of you to present, and appreciate everybody's participation here today. So without further ado, I'll turn it over to you,
Thank you, Governor. Thank you. I represent the Metropolitan Council and the Metropolitan Metro Transit, the largest transit operator in the state of Minnesota, and certainly for the region. We do both transportation planning and transit investment for the transit system. And I just want to say that I really believe that the transit system helps to drive the economy. That it is 80% of the riders on the transit system are going to work or to school. And it's a critical component to the economy. You know, bus riders come from all income levels. People may think that they're just low-income people, and that's not true. There's a wide variety of people who ride the bus. 58% of transit riders have annual family incomes right below $50,000. And there is a small percentage who really are very low-income people. About 20% of the bus riders only have incomes of about $10,000. So it's really critical to people who have no other choice about how they get around. It is an option for people who have income and could choose to drive instead. So I always think about our transit system making it better and easier for people to be drivers on the roads here. Transit also offers mobility for people who really have no other choice through our Metro Mobility Program, just a key component, both for disabled people and for seniors. Another concern that I have is just to let people know that we have a great transit system here, and that if we take investment away from the transit system, we're going to lose riders, we're going to lose the ability for people to get around. We're now ranked the 5th best system in the region, regionally in the nation for our transit system. That was a recent ranking that came out by U.S. News and World Report. And our transit customers already pay more than their fair share. The average for peer regions, transit users pay about 23% of the total fare. Here in the metro area, we now pay 29%. So the transit users are already contributing a lot to use the system. And I think right now the demand for transit is really at an all-time peak. We have 78 million Metro Transit rides in 2010. So just a tremendous number of people have ridden our buses and our light rail trains in this past year. It's an integral part of how we move people in the Twin Cities. I think that the other thing that's really critical, that transportation costs for households are really a critical component of how people can be successful. Transportation costs are right after housing in terms of a big chunk of the family household budget. So any way that we can keep those costs low for people mean that they are going to be able to be in safe, stable homes, can use their resources more effectively for their families. And actually the funding by our state right now for transit funding in this region is actually less than peer regions. So we don't want to see any reduction in the transit investment. In fact, what we really would love to see is over time to see us grow this system. More than half of the Minnesotans live and work in the 7 metro county area. So investment in metro transit really is important for the entire state of Minnesota, because it's this region that is the economic driver for the state of Minnesota. So if we're thinking about jobs and economic development, transit is just a critical component of that. We believe that the proposals for cuts in both the Senate and House versions would really have drastic impact in our ability to meet the demands of the transit riders here in the Twin Cities metropolitan area. And with that, I'd love to turn it over to other people,
right,
Governor.
Very good. Thank you.
It's 50% of the people on the north side do not own cars.
Excellent correction.
It's an incredible disparity. And my constituents, so I'm here to advocate for my constituents. They need transit. They need it desperately. And we need to protect CTIP. Jim said it well, but we need to emphasize the fact that those dollars, when we go out to Washington, D.C. and go in front of the FRA or the FTA, and they see that we have a dedicated funding stream, it moves us up big time. Because around the country, there are rooms this size and larger that are advocating for transit systems. We're not the only ones. And when they see that Minnesota has a dedicated funding stream, it makes a huge difference.
The facts, the study, the analysis, the reasons, the principles that led the business community in the East Metro to join this beautifully diverse group of individuals and groups in support of transit is as strong today as it was several years ago when we joined the party. In fact, I would suggest it's even stronger. We came to the conclusion in the East Metro, as the West Metro did, that it was critically important, as the chairwoman indicated at the outset, that transit, buses, all forms of transportation drive economies. And I would correct, I think the percentage was 80% of the ridership is going to and from work. History proves that vibrant communities that are moving forward and not drifting back, have a multimodal approach to transportation. And so for the vast majority of our membership, we know that transit is a critical component of any kind of urban transportation system.
I use the bus nearly every day to get to my public policy internship in Minneapolis, the grocery store, and the bank. Like many students, I also use the bus and light rail to visit my doctor, volunteer in the community, support local businesses, and further explore the Twin Cities. This system is a vital part of my life and the lives of thousands of young people who use public transit to get to school, to work, and home. Service cuts and fare increases will be a burden to the economic and social well-being of young adults who are currently working and learning in Minnesota.